Good morning, traders. I don't know about you guys, but I got left wondering what happened to the NASDAQ rebalance. Will it affect our trading today? Honestly, I don't think anybody has the answer. So, what does that mean? Uncertainty, volatility, and a lot of trading. Stick around, team. We're here for you guys. Let's get right after it.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team. We got to get Nick Brown into that intro or something. But my man, Ryan Faloona, Nick Brown in the house. What's going on with you guys? Did you guys have a good weekend?
Oh man, what a weekend. Let me tell you, I know you hate this, Mitch. I know you disagree, but golf is the greatest game in the world. I played Geneva National this weekend, the Gary Player course. It was spectacular. The weather was perfect. Oh man, it was so good. The weekend was so good. I hope you all had a great weekend as well.
I was going to say it was a good weekend. How about you, Mitch?
It wasn't too bad. I definitely enjoyed it. I had some good time and just kind of hung out and went out on Friday night. It was a good time. But I can tell you, I did see that man Curry made that hole in one.
Oh,
you saw
dude.
that?
Yeah,
I saw that.
And let me tell you something. Apparently, it is fairly wide known tradition to jump in whatever water you can when your group gets a hole in one, especially for amateurs. And I've seen one on the course. I saw all four guys jump into the lake. It does not look appealing at all. And I'm gonna put this out here today. If I ever shoot a hole in one, my celebration will not be jumping into a lake and being completely covered in disgusting water. It will be something like Curry's, where I run from the tee box to the flag, dead sprint to slap it and celebrate the hole in one. That was one of the most incredible. That's his second of his career. It's not even his main sport. Not fair.
Yeah. I honestly, I would have took that flag home with me. They would have
Oh,
had to find me because I was taking that flag home with me.
Find me.
I'd pull the flag out.
I'd
pull the flag out, Ryan, and I'd put it in my bag. I just put it in my bag. This is my hole.
That is funny.
Or you know what he needed? He needed like a big sticker of himself and pull that out and like put it on the flag. Like, this is my hole from here on out.
I'm sure Fathead can hook him up with a big sticker of himself. That's no question.
Oh, he would have done it. He would have done it for sure. All right, let's get to the market action. Let's see what we get into today. We did get some surprising news right before the bell. At least right now, I did see that Ford put out some news that they were looks like they were cutting the Lightning price. The truck, and that's actually affecting them to the downside here as you're seeing them go lower. I was already looking to short GM and Ford, so I think this is helping me. And you seeing GM go lower on this too. Of course, there's still talks about what? Potential strikes coming from Ford and GM, and we don't know if it's going to happen. But one thing is I'm going to actually look to lean towards at least hearing that more strikes could happen. And so with that, I expect some continued downside in GM and Ford. I'll be looking at them for the open. We'll see what happens there. And will that turn around and finally Tesla's ripping higher? Of course, it looks like throughout the weekend, they stated that Tesla finally rolled out its first Cybertruck from the Giga Texas plant. Of course, this is not what really interests me. It's more along when do you start delivering these Cybertrucks? But yes, the first one rolling out, and that's something definitely to keep an eye out for. We'll see what happens there.
Can I jump in real quick, Mitch?
Ryan.
Robert is asking a question topical to what you're discussing. Anyone here actually want a Cybertruck? I think they are ugly. Definitely not for me. Robert, I am in complete agreement with you. I think this is the ugliest vehicle I've ever seen. I would never pay money. I would expect to be paid in order to be seen in that ugly hunk of thing. But look at the reaction in the stock. And I think that this is what I wanted to draw your attention to. Any type of new news for this stock seems to drive this Colt stock higher. So despite what we all think, I'd like to hear what the rest of the chat think. I'd like to hear all your opinions about that. But despite that, stock's moving higher here today. That's all, Mitch.
I agree.
No,
I'm not getting no Cybertruck ever.
Nope. Never.
I think we all would agree. At the end of the day, the ones that I feel will sell are like the Ford, right? I just like the Lightning. I think the Rivian truck over the Tesla truck any day. I don't know if you've ever seen the Rivian truck in person. I would definitely recommend it. If you know somebody that has it, check it out. The only thing that needs to happen, though, I think, is for these other ones, is for them to compete in battery terms, right? If they compete in battery terms, I think that's really going to take it to the next level. What's needed for that? Solid state battery, I think, is what's needed. John saying, I'd rather drive around in a trans-ocean submarine than be driving in a Cybertruck. Me too, man. But hey, that's just the way it is right now. And we'll see. There's other trucks out there, right?
Sorry, that's cold-blooded, John. That required the drop right there. That's that.
We'll see, guys. It's not necessarily something that I think a lot of people are going to be getting right off the back. Especially it's super expensive too, right? The Cybertruck isn't cheap.
But
50,
no, but
50K, I think.
Is it really only 50K the Cybertruck? More like 150K, I would think. But I mean, look at the reaction in the chat. It's very, very polarized. There are some people that think it's an atrocity, great word, and there are other people that love it. And this is why you're going to see a battle in the stock price, because and that's kind of what I was going for. Your personal opinion is one thing, but understand that this is a market, and there are people that want anything new that Elon comes up with. So just because you don't like it, don't write it off. I'm in that boat, and I'm respecting what Tesla's doing here. Mitch, one more thing on Ford. If you just go to a daily chart, you'll be able to see it on your chart. Really timely with the news here. Maybe Nick will tell us more about that. But one of the things that you're seeing is we're still in that 15 to 11 range. Remember, last time we talked about Ford, we talked about trading this channel. That channel is still holding up. So there might be another trade here as we move down maybe towards the 11 support on Ford.
I was going to say, that's what the Kelly Blue Book value says. It says the Tesla Cybertruck is expected to start at around 50,000.
Yep, 49,900 is what I have. So that would be the average. You're talking about the dual motor version. And there could be a single motor variant that would cost a little lower than that. But we'll see. Of course, the prices keep going up and down. The same thing that's happening for Ford is what happens in Tesla. Supplies get constrained. Prices go up. Supplies come back to you. Well, you lower the price, right? You move that around and kind of play with it. One thing they mentioned also is Ford is trying to increase production and has their plant closed as these upgrades are being made. Let's get over it. Of course, I'll be watching Deere. I still have Deere. I still have BJ. And one that I did take, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about it, was LAC. And I also took eBay based off of the rebalance news, but the rebalance news that never came, or at least it seems like it never came. Nick,
where's the milk carton? Carton.
Did you like that one, Nick?
Yes, always. That's the best one I've seen yet.
Ryan hasn't seen it yet, and I think that I definitely killed it on this one. I gotta get this up on Twitter or something, but there you guys see it. The missing NASDAQ rebalance milk carton.
Oh man!
Last seen on July 14th. If you guys have seen it, let me know. Let me know, because we're looking for it.
Shame on me.
It's coming this Friday. That's my prediction. It comes Friday after market close.
Did someone mess up on that first PR, and it was supposed to be this whole time this Friday? And
yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Last Friday.
Because the changes don't go into effect. They'll start prior to the market open on Monday, the 24th. So next Monday. So there's no reason why they should have released it that Friday, last Friday that just passed. It would be this Friday in regards to Monday.
Yeah, so let's just say it right, Nick. Somebody fell asleep at the NASDAQ, and somebody's getting fired. Unfortunately,
not sure who that would be. Not me though.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a public company or anybody else that clearly stated that it was going to come out that day, they would be hitting the stock that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the interesting part. Of course, they're not hitting the NASDAQ on that, but we'll keep watch to see what happens today. All right, we'll take a look at, of course, the market. Like always, you guys can check out the market. We'll go to Ryan's outlook here. I'm wondering if we come back here towards this prior resistance that we were at around the 445, 443 range, but we're up there to 448. Will we take out 450 on the SPY? All things that we can think about this week. A lot of earnings, of course, this week, so watch out. We'll see what happens. Big earnings coming in today. Some ratings that were interesting today. Goldman Sachs upgrading Chewy. Goldman Sachs upgraded Yelp. They reiterated buy on Baidu, Piper Sandler downgrading Twilio, Citigroup downgrading AT&T, and JP Morgan downgrading State Street to underweight. All right, now to kick it to my man Ryan Outlook, we'll take a look at some stocks. If you guys got any ticker that's catching your attention, whether it be a catalyst, a smaller play, or just your top stock to watch, throw it up in the chat, and we'll take a look at it. Kicking it to you, Ryan.
All right, so the first thing we're going to take a look at here is the SPY. As Mitch said, maybe we take out 450 to the upside here. Worth noting that we did actually take 450 out on the session on Friday, July 14th, but we closed beneath it. So if we do move higher here, let's see if there's actually a close above 450. If we move lower, the level to pay attention to is really that 444. And I would think that we don't get there today, even if we do have more of a sell-off. We'll see how the day shakes out. As a reminder, last week I swung some SQQQ over the weekend. I still have that. My average price 1744, current price 1750. So I'm just about flat there. Let's take a look at some of the other names here. This was the range that I was talking about on the Ford daily chart. We kind of already discussed that. Let's talk about some of the new issues here that are going. First one is going to be ABOS. This is Acumen Pharmaceuticals. And you can see this stock's actually taken two legs up. We took the first leg up here, then we took a second leg up. Now we've actually retraced about 50% of that second leg. We're right at the VWAP. So this will be really interesting to see how this behaves out of the open. I don't have a line on it one way or another, so I'm not just going to buy it in hopes that it shoots up. I'd actually want to see it trade first. Catalyst here is Acumen Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company presented top-line results from a phase 1 study of ACU 193 for early Alzheimer's disease at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference. So you're getting an Alzheimer's news there in the PR. That's driving ABOS. This is definitely going to be in play today. Next one here is going to be HCTI, and this is one from last week. We're seeing another strong pre-market here, right? We popped up as high as 535. We came back beneath the VWAP, overshot it a little bit. That's totally normal. We actually recrossed the VWAP, back test the VWAP twice on these next legs up here. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and mark some of these lines off because these are definitely going to be important today. Oops, I had the wrong line selected. 581, definitely going to be one of those levels. 537, going to be another one of those levels. And if we come all the way back in, we might as well mark off some of these support levels as well. Okay, I actually had another one here. Let me go ABOS. Another one that I wanted to talk about here was going to be BBio. Let's do that one next here. This is Bridge Bio Pharmaceutical shares. You can see we actually took a leg up in the after hours session on Friday and then another leg up here today. Now we're retracing some of that move. So again, we want to see this settle. Bridge Bio shares are trading higher after the company's phase 3 ATTRibute CM study for acromitis and transthyretin. I'm not even going to keep reading these. Met its primary endpoint. So we're having news here about a phase 3 that is meeting its primary endpoint. BBio likely to be in play here today. We did pop as high as 32. We actually breached that a little bit, bleeding back down here to 26. We got a pretty decent range on this stock, so this one might be in play here today. Let's wait for this to settle a little bit. GP was the other one that I had here in terms of an actual news mover. This is Green Power Motor. You can see we did pop as high as 574, come all the way back in, but this is actually a fairly decent chart. Let's see if the strength maintains and maybe we push away from that VWAP there. Next is going to be NVFY. Now, this one we've talked about before. I didn't see any news for this one. If you guys found something, definitely let me know. But this is popping here. Nice, strong pre-market. We really want to match this one to the volume. If we get a volume and a move through the VWAP and a test of this 360 area, we probably go higher here on NVFY. PFRX, this is one of our massive runners from last week. This is popped in the pre-market. It's come back in, struggling to get above the VWAP. We'll see if this ends up setting up. Nothing here yet. Nightscope, our Nightscope traders. I know there are a couple of people in there. Bex, I think you're in this with just massive, massive gains. So congratulations. Nightscope here up again. We had 234 as the high in the pre-market. Let's see if this pops and moves. Seeing NVIDIA and Tesla on here. These are both trading up. Mitch kind of already covered the missing tech rebalance. We'll see how some of these tech names do. Nick, you got anything you want to cover here real quick?
I was just going to say Intel and Qualcomm There was a report out late Friday night from Reuters, basically saying the chief executives of Intel and Qualcomm plan to visit Washington this week to discuss China policy. That's according to two sources familiar with the matter. The executives plan to hold meetings with U.S. officials to talk about market conditions, export controls, and other matters affecting their businesses, one of the sources says. It was not immediately clear whom the executives would meet. Now, Intel and Qualcomm declined to comment to Reuters, and officials at the White House did not immediately return a request for comment. But within the last few hours, CNBC got a comment from Intel, and in part saying CEO Pat Gelsinger was in China and is expected to return to the U.S. this week. The sources said other semiconductor CEOs may also be in Washington this week. The sources declined to be named because they were not authorized to speak to the media. If you could throw up a chart of Sony and Activision Blizzard, that would be great. If you remember, they did sign a binding 10-year deal with Microsoft to keep the best-selling Call of Duty series available on PlayStation. The deal ameliorates some concerns that Microsoft would use its power in the gaming market to cement dominance after the close of its Activision acquisition. Sony executives held concerns as recently as last month that the deal would have anti-competitive effects. The acquisition, isn't certain to close, although Microsoft and Activision prospects are markedly better after the federal appeals judge prevented the FTC from temporarily blocking the deal. The two companies are aiming to complete their transactions by Tuesday, July 18th, so tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that deal is going to close tomorrow now.
I do too. And if you could throw up, we've actually had some interesting news out of Russia and oil names this morning. So we'll start with Russia. Russia on Monday pulled out of the Black Sea Grain Initiative, a United Nations brokered accord that has made it possible for Ukraine to export tens of millions of tons of grains and oilseeds over the past year, even as the war rages on. If you could throw up a chart of oil and oil stocks, this was critical this morning, around 6 a.m., I believe. In oil-related news and stocks, there was a headline that hit about some of the oil-producing nations extending production cuts, and that caused oil to spike a bit, only to have Reuters say that it was a stale headline from a month ago that somehow accidentally got picked up again. So they issued a correction. They said that the Saudi Arabia oil output was a repeat of news published on June 4th and has been withdrawn. And so Art Cashin of UBS, he's the legendary Art Cashin, he points out in his note this morning that that's basically, we've had the Russian news pulling out of the grain, and then we've had this oil repeat of oil news, and that's what's causing some jittery this morning for the markets to open. So he just says, be careful. And as always, I love this line of his last note, stay close to the newsletter and stay safe.
Cashing in with Art Cashin. I absolutely love it.
I was going to say this Ford story, Ryan, everybody's waiting for this Cybertruck to come. I think that's why that they're cutting prices.
Yeah, that actually that's a really good point there. All right, let's see what we got. NVFY, this is right at the VWAP. HCTI popping higher here, by the way. Let's see NVFY going here. Trying to push away from its VWAP. Come on, NVFY. Let's get there. We go. They brought in a bid a little bit higher here on NVFY. HCTI through 6. Wow, we got a couple of them out of the gate here. Guess maybe I shouldn't have waited. NVFY, I'm interested in. Let's see how that sets up here. HCTI going. Let's see how ABOS is doing here. ABOS first move is down. Let's see if that reclaims the VWAP. Carmen looking at Koya. Let me just bring up a couple other stocks here. Not in any trades yet, except for that SQQQ that I swung. Koya here. So are you looking at a break above the VWAP here, Carmen? I'm thinking just by looking at the chart here. We'll see if this gets volume. This is really going to need volume to move. You guys, you mentioned Rivian. I don't know if you're looking at that for a trade, but I guess that's worth mentioning given the Cybertruck news here. Rivian down slightly. NFVY, this still looks like maybe one of the better plays going on right now. Actually, GP kind of curling up. Let's see if this moves as well. I'm interested in GP here. Looks a little thin. What's the share structure on this? Just under 20 million in the float. Average volume 66,000 shares, trade 2.5 million today. Coming back in a little bit here.
Very interesting that Ford, General Motors, Lucid, and Rivian are all lower. Tesla's the only one higher in the autos that I can see on my screen, about 2.65%. Rivian off by about 4%. Ford 3.5%. General Motors 2.2%. Lucid 0.4%. I'm surprised Lucid's still a stock, just like Nikola.
I mean, the car, like, I don't see Nikola trucks. I see Lucid cars on the road, and they're spectacular. So
I see Rivian trucks.
Yeah, I see Rivian trucks too. HCTI continuing to move higher here. All right, HCTI is going to get halted here at 665 if this holds. All right. Becca says, I was eyeing GP. That is moving here, Bex. Good eye early. Let's see if we get a market turnaround here in this, for this SQQQ.
Ryan, not sure if you saw, but there was a recent piece over the Wall Street Journal. I did put it out early Saturday morning, basically reiterating the bull narrative that easing inflation, still strong labor market, that a recession is probably bypassed by now, that GDP is not contracting, and if it does, it's happening later than normal. So there's like this bull narrative that's being sparked again. And we've seen it from multiple narratives. That's basically like Ed Yardeni of Yardeni Research. He issued a new S&P target over the weekend, yesterday, that he sees that the bull market that started on October 12th, 2022, continuing through at least the end of next year, with the S&P 500 reaching a new record high, somewhere between 4,800 and 5,400 over the next 18 months, most likely led by infotech.
Well, that to me doesn't make sense. I don't agree, but he's been right so far. So, I mean, I've thought this market is going to sell off long ago, and it hasn't.
You taking the Mike Wilson side?
Yeah, but Mike Wilson, where's his target at? 3,800 or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's not close. Kudos to him for sticking to it, though. We'll see what happens. We still got some more time.
Remember, I'm issuing a call. Very
That's right.
shortly.
That's right.
All right, SPY up right out the gates here, and we'll look to see if it keeps going. I'm going to try to find stocks that are moving right here, right out the gates. You got Apple up, Microsoft up, Google up. Google is probably one of the strongest moves. And man, Google's been a really nice play. I remember, last week I was trying to get it on a move through 122s, and it's already up there at 127. I think we could be seeing maybe even 128s today in Google. It's pretty strong right now. Airbnb, nice move out the gates also.
I was just saying GP looks like this has got a 5 magnet in it. Looking at the chart here, I'd actually rather buy a pullback towards VWAP if we end up getting it here. So I'm trying to be patient on GP. We'll see if we end up getting this. See if I can give my chart a little bit more room here.
I was going to say, we had China data late last night. That was very, very weak.
What
China
was it?
data.
Weak data? Okay.
Unemployment rate. I think the unemployment rate for like 21 to like 54, like highest ever. I think they missed on retail sales. It was very weak numbers.
Nick, can you do me a huge favor? When you get a chance, doesn't have to be right now, but when you get a chance, can you Slack me that data? Because I'm sure the happy hour team is going to have a discussion about China, and I want to have those things prepared. That'd be really helpful if you could just bullets of what that data was that came out would be fine.
Of course.
Much appreciated.
All right, I like lodging on pullbacks. I'm seeing Airbnb up. I'm liking Hilton today. Potential swing trade higher off of 147, but we'll see what happens on the day. Qualcomm now coming right back down. Taking a look there to see if the Qs will come right back down. 381 showing up right now. We're looking like we're getting a little bit of a push here. Tesla with a nice little push higher towards 290s. We'll see if these turn around, but strong day to start it off. Ford and GM down big already and not giving me a chance, really. They're already down, and I just couldn't even get in on them. Rivian in the green, taking a look around. Bitcoin stocks pulling back a little bit there. Going to keep an eye out on Mara and Riot.
Tom Lee says Bitcoin
back.
200,000 in 5 years. He said that this morning.
It's not a bad outlook. I mean,
at least it's not a short-term outlook like last week. 100 points in the S&P, but he was right.
Yeah.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
Trying some BBIO here as it moves through the VWAP. Wow, there we go. That was fast. I'm going to take that off. That was a lot. That was a quick gain.
Killing it.
I mean, these are small gains, small position size, but I'm just trying to scalp on a move through VWAP. I expect this to pull back, but this might set up again. I don't think BBIO is done today, folks. That was just a small $100 scalp there. No big deal. But I'll take it. I'll take it. What else do we have here?
I was going to say United Airlines was in the news over the weekend, basically reaching a 4-year labor deal with pilots with up to 40% raises. New deal includes raises as much as 40.2% over 4 years, depending on the aircraft type. The union estimated the deal was worth about $10 billion. Labor unions across the industry are pushing for higher wages and better working conditions.
Nick, you should join Happy Hour today if you're free. I'll shoot you a link.
I was thinking about it. I was about to say, I think I'm going to join Happy Hour today.
I'll give you the link whenever you sign up. You can join whenever you're free. I don't take attendance, so don't worry.
Deer doing well, guys. I've been talking about this move and this swing trade for a while now, and it's almost up there to 420. You guys know I've been talking about this one. I actually drew this level out there on. We created it on June 30th. We're up there now, getting up there, and I've had this since 401. Looking good there in Deer today. With that mentioned, I'll be watching XLI and stocks like that.
That's a good trade. By the way, GP going for that 5 spot here. Becca calling drug too. We've seen this one moving recently over the past several sessions. Looks like this is moving here again. I got no angle or setup here on drug. BBIO looks like this is moving higher now on BBIO. Trying to take a look at, does BBIO have options? Maybe we can play this via options. Oh yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, they're spread 30, 40 cents. Pretty good volume in them though. They're liquid. BBIO going higher here.
All right, liking XLI. It's starting to make a little bit of a move here. We'll look for a little bit of a pullback to 108.50s here. If I can get a little pullback into the 50s, don't mind it off of the kind of the 108.30s. Boeing higher. That doesn't look too bad. GE higher. Looking at what's up today, financial services, technology, of course, leading the way there. Meta up also today. Oracle up a good amount, almost a 1% there. Consumer electronics and solar doing well, of course. First Solar with a nice little lift here to 197 now. You guys can look to see if solar names really start pushing today, but strong move out the gates here.
I was going to say, we have earnings this week from tons of companies. Tomorrow, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab. There's just very interesting. Goldman Sachs reports Wednesday, and there has been some news within this week from the FT, Semaphore, basically saying everybody is worried about Goldman Sachs's records and how bad they're going to be, and this could be one of the worst quarters on record.
Sorry, waiting on this pullback on BBIO. Coming right back into its VWAP.
TSLA going higher since that 108.50 is not giving me the chance to get in there. Looking for pullbacks. We'll see what happens there. Cat is another one I can join the party, but it's been on a pullback. 255. Interesting level. They can get back above.
BBIO right down at its VWAP. It's trying to bounce here, but it looks a little weak beneath now. Just wondering if it's trying to shake out VWAP traders.
XOM down now towards 139, man. What a fake out, but the EIA. Or EI hate, more like it.
EI hate. SQQQ bouncing here as the market kind of turns around.
All right. SQQQs, I can take a look at what I got here to see.
ABO's still kind of bleeding here. FFIE for you penny players looking real strong here. I'm a little late to it here, though.
Cruise is doing well today. Consumer electronics doing well. Sony looks like Boozex is doing well. Even GoPro up. Coinbase doing well up today. We'll look to see those names. Electronic vehicles doing decently. Some biotechs. So what's up with the biotechs? Where's my small players at, guys? What's going on out there, team?
Well, we had some of them on the list here today, but they're actually, I mean,
BBIO, yeah.
BBIO has been the only decent one. ABOS has really kind of bled back.
I like that pullback here to 28s.
Yeah, it overshot its VWAP here. I'm wondering if it reclaims it here, Mitch, on BBIO.
Kind of like it, but you just have to be careful with the spread, right? And the amount that this moves. This moves pretty damn quickly.
Which is exactly why I didn't take a second stab at it. I kind of just scalped it on the way up there.
No, Mike, I don't mind it, but I'd have to get in closer to 28, right? And so I'm not getting in right now.
Progressive, the insurance company, looks like this is curling. It's actually not a bad call here, Ravi. So let me take a look at my screen here real quick. So Progressive recently sold off here. I actually don't know what that news is. I'll check it in a sec here, but it looks like maybe we've bottomed and now you're kind of getting the bounce back here on PGR. Interesting, Ravi. Would like to know how you're actually trading that here. Did see a upgrade here from JP Morgan with a price target of 146. Let me see if I can figure. Oh, that was the earnings on that drop. So interesting. Earnings moved it down. We'll see if Progressive can bounce. Maybe we have a gap fill trade here. Becca saying night scope is going down. KSCP, maybe the momentum is dissipating there. Night scope, big pull here. Looking at the chart here, this level that we're in right here, this definitely acting as a support level. So if this breaks, probably lower, but we'll see. This has been a volatile stock the past couple of sessions.
Evolve Technologies getting moving today, and this is actually a stock that I believe in so much, but it still hasn't gotten the love that I think it deserves. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a concert with Evolve Technologies at the gates, but that's when you can walk in with everything in your pockets and not have to take anything out, yet it does the scan and kind of alerts. It is popping today. Nice $6 pop. It's up about 9%. So keep your eyes on that one. Nice little pop here. I'd look for a pullback to 625. That's what I'm looking for. Of course, you guys choose your own levels. We'll see what happens there. And BBIO, God damn you. I took a look off for 1 second to talk about that other stock. And boom, 29. There she goes. That's just frustrating. I took an eye off of it for a second there. Just to take a look at the other ones there. But hey, it happens. Can't be mad about that. I was thinking about grabbing that, and just 2 seconds ago, it just freaking ripped to 29. That's just frustrating. Took my eyes off of it for a second. Just got to stay with the stocks there today, the ones that are moving, because that was a really nice play there. They could have got it off 28s.
GP going for 5. BBIO back up, looking like that might set new highs here on BBIO.
So annoyed.
You guys were talking about Jay mentioning Meta and Nvidia. That's part of my SQQQ thesis. So if those continue to pull back, should be good for the SQQQ trade there. Sorry, just handling something on Slack here real quick. Appreciate that, Nick.
You're welcome.
That was frustrating on BBIO.
I was going to say it's another day, another upgrade of NVIDIA. Citi raises to $5.20 per share from $4.20. Says it's an attractive risk. Reward for top AI beneficiary. I don't know. NVIDIA, what do you guys think? NVIDIA keep buying, or eventually is it going to lose steam?
I can't. Here, let me show you why I'm saying this, because NVIDIA, arguably one of the strongest stocks in the market right now, and at risk of sounding like a complete moron, I want to at least be able to show you why I'm going to say what I'm going to say here. Look at this run that NVIDIA has been in since October of last year. It was 109. We are up 400% since that. To me, gotta wait for pullbacks, especially if I'm talking about buying a good company for any type of longer term. I really don't like buying extended charts like this. If I actually flip over to the chart tool, we take a look at NVIDIA, you can see RSI still at about 70 here. I'd really like this to come into a support level. Honestly, I know this sounds crazy, but a pullback to 378 would actually look pretty good here on NVIDIA. That would depend upon the macro conditions. But Nick, to your point here, NVIDIA can be whatever it wants. This AI craze definitely seems to be keep going. The company is strong. It's not a garbage company by any means, but it's just so extended. I have a really tough time making a case to buy it.
ABOS coming back down towards 10. See support around 981s, but that one's pulled back massively.
This one's done nothing but leak since that second leg up, Mitch. And really, as far as a trade goes, really need this thing to settle before we come up with any type of trade plan.
Yeah, I just see prior resistance there at like 980s, but next layer down is 923s. So understand that type of risk. That BBIO should have got there in the 28s. It's just hindsight 2020 now.
GP, so you got a nice little pop through that 5 there. Remember, it ran up to this 5 a couple of times. Once it bursted through, we ended up getting that pop. Nice expanding volume here on this chart. GP, next spot that I've got on GP going to be 512. We'll see where we end up going there. BBIO flirting with the 30 level here on BBIO.
There goes XLI now to 108.93s. So had some good outlook on the XLI, just never took it. I'm just a little bit hesitant today. Don't know why, but just being a little bit hesitant and missing trades. And so normally when I be hesitant, that's normally when I pay the price on the next trade. So just going to size down and just have a low volume day. Not seeing it, and sometimes you're not going to see it. I had really good plays, just not taking it.
Jay Wild calling RX. That was from last week. Let's see what we're doing here. Haven't even looked at this here today. Jay, great call. Definitely a pop out of the open here. Nice little run out of the open. Interesting thing here, Jay, is that first of all, we've actually already cleared out the intraday highs from Friday. Intraday highs from the day before, 1301 here. We'll see if RX can make a move here. Definitely look. Let me see if I can reset this a little bit. Definitely moving here on RX. If it breaks above this, we might be pretty gappy up to that 20 handle. Holy smokes. Good call, Jay. For those of you watching RX.
I was going to say Netflix, ticker NFLX, new 52-week high. That's on the back is Deutsche Bank reiterates Netflix's buy, ups the price target to $4.75. Expectations have risen, making for a tougher valuation case, but we are reiterating our buy rating.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. Now, Netflix here, of course, the thing that's going on right now in the backdrop here is going to be the Screen Actors Guild strike, right? That's going on here. So writers and actors, I believe, going on strike with the whole thing with AI, actors not getting paid on residuals through some of the streaming services. It'll be interesting to see how these affect some of the streaming stocks. This is not something I'm positioned for. This is something that I'm kind of evolving in terms of my knowledge of the situation by asking people listening to podcasts out there. all of that stuff. So I'm not really sure how to play this, but keep an eye on all of these streaming names. Netflix is, of course, a big one. Apple's another one. Disney's one. Disney's having its own problems there. We might have to take a look at that for another potential leg down on a short. But even some of the smaller ones like Fubo, anything that's connected to streaming might be affected from this. And 13 from our happy hour. 13, if you're out there, hello. 13 from our happy hour, really wondering, hey, what does this mean? Like, are we going to see a show that was pretty much written by AI? How's that going to be? I'm not a huge fan of this whole thing, but we got to let the situation evolve. Interesting to see Netflix up here on the back of that upgrade.
Well, that comes as Morgan Stanley reiterates Apple is overweight. They upped the target to 220 from 190 and says India is the company's next frontier. We estimate Apple India can grow 7 times over the next 10 years to 40 billion, add 170 million new users, and account for 15% of revenue growth.
So yeah, that doesn't surprise me on Apple. That's just, Apple's, we call it Big Mama for a reason, right? That's Apple for you here. Disney, we just talked about that whole strike thing. If you look at a Disney daily chart here, this is definitely a pretty nasty downtrend. We are butting up against one of these support levels here. I would call this about 85, currently at about 87. A break lower here, folks, and I think Disney goes lower. So factor this in as well. Disney, of course, content is a big part of the Disney play here. I understand they also have theme parks and things like that, but chart not looking good here. Disney in the news for the wrong reasons. We'll see what happens on Disney.
But I mean, does Apple have the momentum that people are going to continue to go in these stores, buy the iPhones, upgrade the AirPods, upgrade the iPads? Eventually, is basically supply chains, are we just dismissing supply chains? Because that was an issue. Plus, we've seen Apple move to Thailand, and like Apple's moving out of China.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So with Apple, the way I see this is you're absolutely right about that. First of all, are people going to keep buying the phones? Yes. Apple makes sure that those phones become less and less effective over time.
Chevron.
Mitch's long Chevron. Mitch, let me put your charts up here. Which one is it?
It's the
here. Got you. I got you. Let me just finish this thought here real quick, and I'll have Mitch break down this trade. Mitch's long Chevron here. As far as Apple, the phone is effectively a service. People that love the phone don't switch very often. They're going to keep buying those phones. Now, your point about the AirPods and the iPads, those are a little bit more niche. I will say with the headphones, those continually seem to get better, especially ones that are in-ear buds as opposed to over-ear muffs, if you will. The question I have for Apple is who's left to buy? Who doesn't own some Apple somewhere in a mutual fund, in a 401k, in your personal account, whatever? Who's left to buy the stock? Eventually, the law of large numbers is going to catch up to some of these. Mitch, I'm sorry for rambling. Break this trade down for us.
No, next generation, Ryan. They'll buy Apple too, but we'll see what happens there. Looking at Chevron, and this is kind of a bet on oil coming back today. Have here 153.28. Have 100 shares. I'm willing to add here also. I'm just trying to let it equal out here on the 5-minute basis. See if we get a 10-minute move right back to the upside here. And I'm just trying to play Chevron to the upside here. So we'll see what happens here. It did get a little pop there towards 153.84. I think it can go through 154 if it gets the bounce. Waiting for this 5-minute candle to close here. We got about, this candle opened up at 9:55. We got about 3 minutes left here. A move back to the upside and a close there. Oh, well, we're looking really good. All right, what do you guys got out there? No Apple for you? I have no Apple either, but hey, I know a lot of people do. KLAC, I got you. That's going to be a semiconductor equipment stock, and I can take a look here. Let me just put it on the right-hand chart here for me. I'll look it up through, of course, Moo. KLAC doing well, pushing up there to the 480s, has up one, down, up two, down two, up three, down three. I like it to hold 455 and try to get it towards 488 for the breakout above. We'll see if it gets that move. And that's on the Moo chart. I'll show you guys that right here on the right-hand side. You can see that trying to push higher. PayPal breaking out. That's not a bad one to keep an eye out for. Of course, as some growth stocks go higher, I'd be taking a look at one that I wanted to take a look at is Roblox. That's made a nice little red to green move. I'd look for a pullback below 43s, but not doing too bad there. Chevron pulling back here. I will be adding to it and just waiting for a little second here to see if it can get to low 153s. There, it's right back into the low 153s. Just added a little bit there. All right, I'm at 153.23s right now. I'm just trying to hold on for right now and just trying to see if it's kind of balancing out here. Could add one more time. PLD giving me an alert. This is going to be something that I'm going to do a swing trade on. I don't normally buy a lot of REITs, but this seems to make sense for me. This is Prologics. So I'm taking a shot on this at 128.30s off the 127 for today. And this is a REIT type of play. All right, let's look around. Let's go to the Explore tab. Let's see how things are moving. NASDAQ starting to move back to the upside after coming back down quickly there. 945 had kind of an in the middle action. So 945 on the Qs was kind of a little bit of a down move there, and it came right back up. We'll look to see if we get the up move here in some stocks. Gene editing, EV charging doing well today. So EV Go, ChargePoint, names like that doing pretty well today. What you looking at, Ryan? What's the stock market looking like?
ABOS right now. I'm looking at ABOS. This still continues to bleed, but might be showing signs of bottoming and bouncing here. One of the other things we're taking a look at HCTI. Maybe this is curling here. Wolf, I noticed, is running here. We actually just busted through on Wolf, going higher here on Wolf. I actually missed that. So interesting. PGY I'm seeing here on the scanner popping up and moving away from its VWAP. LEV here, high of the day, flagging. Nice little bull flag here. PMN, I think Crow was on this one earlier. This looks like Crow said PMN, one more push. Looks like PMN's trying here.
Trying to get there towards the 8. We'll see if it gets there. BBIO trying to reload at 29. He got some. It's coming back there to 29.50s.
BHC moving here.
We now have 200 of Chevron at 153.18s. Want to see it start holding 153 now.
Hey guys, if you can flip to Meta, we're just getting some breaking news out of CNBC. Nice. It says House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan asked Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg to hand over documents about content moderation on Threads as part of the panel's ongoing investigation of tech platforms, policies, and contact with the Biden administration. The letter obtained exclusively by CNBC is an early indication of the added spotlight Meta's new product could bring to the company in Washington. This notice comes as the Biden admin grapples with a court case about its ability to communicate with tech platforms about potentially harmful information on their services. In that, in the letter that was obtained, it says, quote, "Indeed, Threads raises serious specific concerns because it has been marketed as rival of Elon Musk's Twitter, which has faced political persecution from the Biden administration following Musk's commitment to free speech." Jordan pointed into a Wall Street Journal article that found the FTC had asked Twitter to hand over internal communications about Meta and identified journalists who were allowed to access the company's records as part of the probe into whether Twitter could still adequately protect consumer information.
Yeah, so my knee-jerk reaction to that one is that it's the bigger deal is the Threads engagement numbers, because I think that any of this type of back and forth bickering or lawsuits and all that's going to take time to play out. I think that you're going to get more tradable action from the Threads engagement numbers than you are from that whole side of things. That would be my guess. That would be how I would attack this trade here.
All right, Meta's going lower there. We'll see if Nvidia goes lower. That's probably one stock definitely to keep an eye out for. It's pretty weak now. It's not holding on. We'll see if that does start coming down here. And if that starts coming down, that could affect the bigger boys. Apple's still staying strong, though. That's the interesting part. Microsoft pretty weak there. I know Google was strong earlier. Let's take a look there. Google trying to recover here. We'll look to see if it does recover. It's been a tough day out there. Be careful out there, team.
Yeah, and speaking of a tough day, Mitch, I think one of the other things here, the Meta lower and Nvidia lower, definitely good for SQQQ, but the market is bouncing here. So despite some of these darlings that have really kind of held it up, it is still bouncing here.
Yep. We'll see what happens on the day. It seems like a tough one. That's for sure. Not an easy day by any means. All right, we're going to just keep watching to see if we get another lift here in the queues, or will we get another takedown? That's something to keep an eye out for. EV Go having a decent day there. That's up to 450 now. Charge point up to 860. Those are doing really well there. Blink charging a part of that. FSIL, man. FSIL not doing too bad. Got some trades I can do on Mumu, but not knowing where the market's going right now. Definitely, there's random days where I feel like I'm just not knowing. Right now is one of those days for sure. The big thing is what happened to the rebalance? Somebody get me some news.
Where's the milk carton, Mitch? Where's the
milk carton?
You want me to send an email to the NASDAQ?
Yeah, wake them up. Let them know that, hey, do I need to highlight this for you a little bit more?
I'll send it to the investor relations. Well, I'm doing it right now as we speak.
Gary Gensler, do your job, man.
Oh, they've been asleep over at the wheel over at the SEC for years now.
Nick's unfazed.
Gary, just come out and say something. Be like, yo, man, yeah, NASDAQ, you should kind of said something if you weren't going to say something. You know what I mean? This is where I get confused. I'm like, yo, come on, man. You can't be having me watch the tape at 4 p.m. and then it's not even showing up. Time is money, man.
Did you get that milk carton up yet on Twitter? I think that would go viral.
You like that picture, right, Nick?
I do. As soon as you showed it pre-market prep, I'm like, oh, he has to show that on live trading.
I'll send it to you. How about that? You can have fun with it.
Works for me.
My man said, just give me a second. I'll do it. There you go. You can put that up on our Twitter and have some fun with that. I'm sure they'll love it. I just remember the old days, where they used to put like the missing child on the milk carton. Of course, I wasn't born in those days, but I don't think Nick was either.
No.
Oh, man, we'll see what happened. The market is just on a dull piece right now. It doesn't know where it wants to go. NASDAQ's still up there. Looking around here, guys. Looking, the gold futures down. Oil is down here, but I'm looking to see if it gets another little pop here. Back to the upside. See what happens there. Bitcoin a little higher. Bitcoin stocks catch the bounce. Yeah, Bitcoin stocks catch the bounce at least a little bit today. Seeing some of those stocks up. It's Bitcoin not looking too bad there. Options. This is the Bitcoin futures. So crude oil. We'll see if that can go higher. VIX going down today a little bit there. NASDAQ, will it make another move to the upside here?
Well, I was going to say, Mitch, did you hear why oil was higher this morning? There was a report that there was a duplicate report from Reuters basically saying Saudi Arabia was going to cut again, even though that was the last month, June 4th. And so they had to withdraw. It sent oil stocks higher, all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm watching it. I'll tell you that much.
Jay Wild, LIXT, you shouted this out earlier when it went into a halt. I think we talked about something else. That was a great move. Out of the halt, opened up, popped higher into a new halt here on LIXT. Second halt, both of them up here. Great catch if you caught that one, my man.
Google looking interesting here. We'll see if it gets to pull back buy off the kind of the 25.70 level, 75 level. Doesn't look too bad here. Is it able to hold and come back to the upside? Will the SPY go right back up?
MVFY here. Oh my God, what is wrong with my platform?
I got
it's
you,
like
bro.
not typing. And let me see if I can collect. That's weird. My Thinkorswim platform was lagging right there. It's clear garbage and see if that makes a difference.
MasterCard with a nice day and Visa with a nice day. So that's interesting to see there. Banks all green.
We get Charles Schwab, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Goldman, all between tomorrow and Wednesday.
Yeah, the
Interesting
regional
one to
banks
see
are going to be
higher.
more of the focus of this earnings season for me in terms
Yes.
of how the banks do. So
Walmart trying to go higher today. That's one I like. I'm looking for pullbacks on that towards 154.20s or 154.15s, but that does look like it's trying to go higher. That's an interesting one to watch. And this morning, we saw there on Market Structure Edge, Ross Stores show up in the volatility area. And it's actually looking interesting for me to maybe take a shot there on Ross. Family's just going to go buying at Ross. Who knows?
I don't think I've ever been into a Ross.
What?
Maybe it's not
surprised.
a Chicago thing. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been into one.
Man, I'm surprised. Surprised to hear you say that, my friend. I'll tell you one thing. We should have grabbed Costco.
Okay, the email has been sent, Mitch.
Oh, they woke up?
No,
haven't
he's
gotten a
trying.
response yet.
Nick's trying. He's trying to use his influence on him. Let's go.
That's my boy. Did you send him the milk carton?
No. No.
Oh, that's funny.
You like that one. I know you would like that one.
I do. I love that milk carton.
All right, guys, we'll see what's going on in the markets. It's just been a tough day here. Not really. I mean, we are going a little bit higher, but some stocks just going kind of in the middle of the line and just kind of hanging out here. Oracle looking good there. Remember I mentioned Adobe might get a move back above 500. That thing's at 516. Looks like it wants to keep going. Of course, Adobe is going to definitely benefit from AI. That was one of the players that I caught early, but wasn't able to get this actual swing trade on them. All right, so we're seeing a kind of middle in the day, middle in the line today. SPY is a little bit higher, and I think the SPY is a little bit higher because of the financials being so high on the day. Yeah, and that's definitely keeping them up. Healthcare doing well today. That's doing well. Industrials getting higher, technology, but now we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. Seeing some defensive names up higher. That's something definitely keep an eye out to see if they keep pushing. Basic materials now starting to get in the green. What's in the red from the open? Communication services and utilities. Communication services, one stock really getting destroyed there is AT&T. Talked about how I don't want a piece of AT&T. And I definitely don't want a piece of AT&T now.
Well, I was going to say they got downgraded, I believe, Friday. They got downgraded from another firm. And today they got downgraded from Citi to neutral from buy. If you look at the chart on a long term, I think it's back to levels not seen since maybe 03 or longer.
Yeah, it's just been in if you like dividends, yeah, it sounds fun, but I'll tell you one thing. The net inflows is what you want to be looking at. Look how the extra large inflows are negative 33 versus the smaller ones that are in the green. So what does that tell me? That tells me that retail is holding this name, not institutions. Usually the institutions know something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would stay away. I personally think this is only kind of like a dividend play if you like that, but hey.
But is their phone service good? That's a question. I'm not sure.
All right, Affirm trying to go higher, Carvana trying to go higher. Those are the names that I would definitely be keeping an eye out. Affirm trying to recover today.
Anyone see any news on BBWI? That's Bath and Body Works. Huge move here. Well, I guess maybe not. Only 2.5%, but nice little move. Initially pulled out of the gate, and it's really been strong since then. BBWI, I don't see any news, but if you guys have any, we just took out 36. No position in this, just kind of watching it, trying to figure out the action here.
All right,
I'm looking. I don't see anything.
Yeah,
on
I don't
large.
see anything either, Nick. That's good. You're confirming that for me.
Roblox looking interesting. I like this one. It's trying to hold 43, 45s here. It doesn't look too bad at all for the next up move here. Only question is, will it come back to the VWAP? That's what I'm kind of looking for a little bit more of. But the 5 minutes just holding up here. Will we break down? That's the one thing you need to be thinking about. You go to the 1 minute here.
EVgo. I actually used an EVgo golf cart this weekend. That was all modded. It was nice. This is a little too extended for me to buy it up here, though. EVgo.
Yeah, a little too extended on the day. eBay not doing bad for me on the day. That's going higher. Of course, that's off the NASDAQ rebalance news. We'll see if it ever comes in. Right?
There was none.
What news?
Yeah, what news? What are you talking about? Are we having a rebalance? No,
LAC finally bouncing back a little bit on this one. I have a swing trade on LAC. We'll see what happens. I'm still in the red a little bit. I'm down about 1.53 on that LAC position. We'll see what happens. Roblox looking interesting here for a move right back to the upside. This doesn't look too bad. I'd like to see it go to the 43s, then back up to 43.50. But an interesting one to keep an eye out for. What else is making moves on the day? Let's go to ARKK. How those names doing? Roku going higher. I know that people are like judging Roku like, oh no, this story sucks. Well, guess what? The story don't matter in bull markets, man. Sometimes it's just going to be forward earnings outlooks, and it looks better for Roku moving forward than what it does in the past. So now you're starting to see that reversal. It doesn't look too bad here for maybe a 74.50 off the 74. Doesn't look that bad. Roku.
How do you think the strike plays into that name, Mitch? We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier.
It won't affect it too much because Roku makes their money off of more advertising than it does off of that. And then they got their products, right? Like it just wouldn't affect it as much. I think that's why what you're seeing Netflix kind of actually make an up move off of that news that's out there. It's not really going to play too much of an effect. Are you canceling your Netflix subscription because of the Hollywood strike?
I don't have Netflix, so no.
No, but majority of the consumers probably wouldn't, right, Ryan? Let's just be honest, right? It's just a strike that doesn't really. My
thing. Here's my thought on that whole thing. If they start moving to AI generated scripts, I would imagine the quality of the content is going to suffer, and over the long term, that would be reflected in the price. That would be my thought. I don't know if that's what's going to materialize, but I have no trade in order to capture it. I'm still trying to make sense of the whole situation, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. It's how it is here, man. Let's look for some trades action here.
I was going to say, hey guys, I already have a release. I got a comment from the NASDAQ already.
What is it?
You got it?
In the email, it says, per the press release, the index share announcements and pro forma file were released on July 14th. The share announcements can be found on the following page. They provided me the link. The pro forma is available on the Weightings tab. Another link, if you edit the highlighted drop down below to pro forma. Please note a subscription is required to view the data.
There's their upsell shot. Nice. There you go. You found it.
So you give me a public PR that you're going to announce this publicly, and then you hide it behind a subscription service.
Mitch doesn't like that at all.
Wow.
You know what, NASDAQ? You can go. Just fill in the blank there.
Do we have a subscription? I don't have a subscription.
Who has a subscription? I don't have it.
Log in for full access.
Yes, Alexa's asking this. What exactly do you have to subscribe to get that? What I mean, for heaven's sakes.
No, we're just gonna keep you out of this. This is the way we play games. All right, lithium going higher. Some of these names I actually really like now. I'm looking for LTHM on any pullback. Nice little pullback to like 28.35 or 28.30s looks good for me. Looking at PLL names like this to see if they go higher today. Lithium names you can look at maybe like SQM, ALB, maybe see if those can go higher. Those actually look interesting for me. What's up with the Ford? Man, Ford's just getting pounded today. It's back to VWAP here. If you think Ford can come up from here, or will it just keep going lower, right back down? I mean, it's about 20 cents to the downside move and about 30 cents to the upside move there. we'll look to see what happens. Looking around, guys, what are you guys looking at? One of those days where a lot of action, but not really too many trades. NASDAQ going higher here. This could bring some stocks to start pushing back to the upside. I like stocks like Google to kind of keep an eye out for. Let me take a look there. Google. Roblox looking strong there. Will Google
I still
push
can't
right back
believe
to the
this.
upside?
I still can't believe the response.
Yeah, I mean, I just put it this way. A lot of people scratching their heads today on that rebalance.
We're going right to Twitter with this screenshot.
Nick, I love it, Nick.
Go viral. Go viral. Everybody retweet
Nick.
Everybody retweet Nick over
I'm
here.
going to watch Twitter right now for this. You got that right.
I'm typing this as we speak.
All right, guys. I'm going to look to see if Google wants to go higher here. I'd have to risk off that 125.50 spot, but will the market kind of get the rip here? Qs are just hanging out there. That's the problem. SPY's a little bit closer towards the upside move. For Solar coming back here towards the VWAP, that's an interesting stock to keep an eye out for today. Solar Edge going higher. ENPH looking like it wants higher. There it goes. That's pushing to the upside there. Max N's another one to kind of keep an eye out here. It's at 26. Will it make a move to 26.50? Something to keep an eye out.
Thank you. Sorry, I tried to do that away from the microphone.
No worries. We'll be okay.
He's basically calling that BS on the NASDAQ's part.
Nick, let me know when that tweet's out so I can retweet it.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy that one. Sure.
Done.
I'll put the cart, the milk carton.
I basically titled it, so the NASDAQ puts out a public PR about a rebalance and puts it behind paywall. Doesn't make sense.
All right, what do you guys got out there? What do you guys like?
BBIO remaining strong here. New highs on BBIO.
I'm so annoyed on that one, man. I almost bought it at 28. Looked for a second there to the right.
Yeah, I scalped it.
It was at 29.
I scalped it, and I did already. I mean, it was really quick. Just a quick $100 to get myself some lunch here today. But if this goes higher here, I'll be pissed I didn't stay in.
Yeah, man, that should have been a nice little $200, $300 winner for me. But hey, that's how it goes.
Where is Nick Brown's tweet?
I put it up there. So I already got one.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is.
All right, taking a little bit of Google here. Just grabbed a little bit, looking for a little bit of a pullback towards like the 60s or 70s here to add. Don't mind adding in the 60s or 70s here if I get a little pullback, but
let's take
78.
a look at Carvana here, Mitch. It's been one of the bigger ones. Are we running again here today?
Yeah,
sure are. That looks like it's going for that 40 number.
Mm-hmm.
That does look like it's going for that 40 number. See if it pulls back to VWAP before doing that. VRM, ticker VRM, we're taking a look at here. This is been strong this morning, has some size at 210 on VRM. So we'll see if we can actually get above 210, maybe 220 comes quick if we do. Let me check something real quick here.
All right, let's see if Google wants to make the move or not. It's just fighting right now. It's a little bit red. Apple's a little bit better of a chart there, and 193 looking good there on Apple if it's going to go through it here. See what happens on that one. 5-minute chart on that one. Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. Could still pull back a little bit, but nice looking chart there on Apple today for 193s. Google starting to hold now towards 125.80s. That's looking good for me now. And I'm looking for any pullback towards like the 75s to maybe add, or 76.
There's LIXT. Looks like this went higher out of that second halt, Jay, and came back in. Hope you did all right with that. That was a good call. Good spot by our man Jay this morning.
The plug. Who's the plug?
Ron called plug earlier. I'm wondering if he's trading that.
Yeah,
No
man.
position in plug for me.
FSIL doing better today. I have a piece of FSIL, but just one share because of Moo, of course. But it's doing better.
Nick, straight to Twitter with that screenshot. Oh, that was funny.
Can't blame him, man. See what happens here. All right, taking a little bit more Google here.
Still taking off 3%.
Yeah, I could not figure it out there. BBW, I didn't even see sweeps or anything on it. Maybe I missed them or something, but that was a big power move there. I didn't get any of it. PWM still being talked about by our chat group here. Let's take a look at that. PWM. Oh, yeah. So a nice little move out of the gate here. Back test towards VWAP. Maybe going for new highs here on PWM.
PWM. All right. All right, guys, still in Chevron here, battling here in the 152, 193 range. I'm glad that I've stayed small enough to hang out here now. Now I really want to see this start coming through that 153.25 because you kind of have like that rule of three just chopping around here. I want to see a big bar come and take like 153.50s. If that happens, I'll be looking really good for a move back up towards this trend line. That'll be a move to 153.60. So it's about 60 cents there. We'll look to see if he starts to get that lift or not. Shady ownership, massive debt issue. It doesn't matter in bull markets. So that's the thing that I think a lot of people will start saying about Carvana. They'll say it about Affirm. They'll say it about a lot of companies. They'll say probably about C3AI. But the truth is, guess what? It doesn't matter. In bull markets, you got to be careful with comments like, because this stock does this, I don't like it. Because the truth is that we got to be careful because in bull markets, what can happen is that the tide can lift all boats. So all stocks could get a lift because the market just keeps going higher. Deere going higher today. That's looking good there.
NVIDIA coming back in.
NVIDIA is one to keep an eye out for. If that goes hard red, that's where you can see maybe that turnaround happen. Q's still holding, though. It's crazy to see that. But why is it holding? Because there's other stocks leading it. Zoom, remember I talked about how that could be one of those rebalanced stock that does well? Zoom higher there. We'll see if Roku goes higher. Stocks like that. That's why I have eBay in the first place. That's going higher today also. So we'll keep an eye out on Q's components there that are doing well. I'd keep an eye out for ZS, one of those stocks that is doing well. CrowdStrike, Zoom, DDOG, Melly, Marriott. I talked about how Hilton maybe is one that I like today. Look how that's going higher. I like Hyatt. Airbnb has been doing well. Can that one take another move higher towards 145? Had a really strong day on Friday. This is actually looking pretty strong now, up back towards 143. Is Airbnb something that I'm going to regret not having? It could very much be, as it's really starting to get strong now, especially since the recent 130 break. I'm looking for pullbacks back towards 138, but Airbnb, pretty strong stock.
VRM, let me get my stream back here. VRM did take that 210 spot. There was some size there. It took at 211. This is going to be your day high here. Let's see if it moves a little bit higher, a little bit more size at 213 on VRM. They just took 211. All right. This one's a little bit slower, a little bit more of a grinder.
It's a grinding type of time right now.
Grind-tastic, as they say.
It's grindy, that's for sure. All right, NASDAQ turning back around. We'll see what happens on the stocks there. It did definitely take a little bit of a pullback there, and it has a little bit of some topping action towards 380.50s. We'll look to see if we come back towards support. Support could be a move back down, even as far down as 379.50 area here. So just be careful out there, team.
Alexa mentioning Chewy here. Alexa trying to get me to get other Alexas to mention Chewy. Let's give it a shot. Alexa, pull up a chart of Chewy. Let's see if that works. But back to the seriousness here. Chewy, of course, up here in the pre-market, sold off right out of the open, but looks like it's actually found that bottom and kind of recovered. So we're just up slightly, up just under 1% here from where we were at on Friday. Chewy, if we take a look at the daily chart here, oops, did I change that? I sure did. Take a look at the daily chart here. I'll get it eventually. You can see we're still in this sideways area. Would really like to see this take out 50 to the upside for the next leg up there. PWM got halted, you guys are saying? You guys are all over this. PWM at the highs again, looking like it's going to take new highs here. Halted on PWM. Great job for you guys trading this one. I didn't even have this one watching today.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about, team. That's what I love to hear.
RXRX. You guys were on this one early too. Chat was on this one here, moving up on RXRX. VRM moving higher here. God, I guess I should have taken that one. This grindy one's easier to trade or easier to hang on to. 213 highs here.
And an eye here to see if these oil stocks are going to start going higher. XLM already pushed there. Gush doesn't look too bad either. So I'm taking a look at a couple of these.
Oh, Joby, good call, Jay. Joby, big move, big bounce here on Joby. Didn't play that one either. GP under 5 here. Abos, look at this thing, man. This thing just been weak all day. Really can barely even bounce. We'll see if that changes this afternoon, but so far weak out of the gate here on Abos.
All right, stopped out in that Google. Stopped out in that Google. It just lost like 5 or 6 cents on that Google, so it wasn't much.
FFIE penny stock moving higher here. Let me blow my nose, guys. Hang on.
All right, Chevron looking good here. We'll look to see if it starts to kind of really get the push now. Wouldn't want to see it take out 153 now, so I need a little pullback below my entry here. Might actually add here. Keeping a close eye on oil overall to see if that's grinding higher. It doesn't look too bad on that outlook. All right, just added a little bit more there. Now have 153.17s and just continuing to try to work this position in Chevron.
I was going to say, Mitch, take a look at AMD, Intel, Texas Instruments, Global Foundries, NXP Semiconductors. Those all got this morning a 90-day catalyst watch over by Citi. And on that note, they even opened a positive catalyst watch on Bank of New York Mellon, basically saying we expect BK to hold its 2023 net interest income guide when it reports on Tuesday, and consequently are opening a positive catalyst watch.
That's something to keep an eye out for, man. And the Qs right now are struggling here. They tried to go right back up. I'm going to see here what happens here, because if the Qs kind of reject here, again, that 380.60s, I think they could come right back down really hard. NVIDIA is just kind of hanging out here. I think it could do a little spike, squeeze some people out at like 459 or even 460, and then really get pounded down. AMD looks like a short setup right now. So that doesn't actually look bullish to me. That looks bearish to me. We'll see if this comes right back down here. Micron also starting to come back up here, but I don't know about these names. I got to keep an eye on it. Micron's a little bit more bullish than these other ones, and I think this one could actually get a lift in the Qs because of what's going on in the rebalance, right? So maybe Micron gets a little bit of a lift here. I actually like this name through the 6450s, but it already just hit that. Now I'm going to look for a quick pullback, and maybe it holds 64s. Chevron already starting to get to 153.27, so that's looking good there for me. Just want to see this start really pushing. Can I get to 153.50s? I'll be looking really good there in Chevron. Dips in PMN. Definitely keep your eyes on that. How's Snap doing today? I know it had some kind of positive catalyst this morning. Keeping an eye on it. It's pretty weak here right now. All right, what are you guys seeing out there? Carvana. There you go. That's definitely a stock to kind of keep an eye out for. Of course, you guys see the QR code in the top right corner there. If you guys want to go ahead and check out Moomoo Trades, you guys see this statistical data here at the bottom here for Snap. You see capital trends. You see if you got big inflows, outflows. What are you seeing there? A lot of inflows from kind of retail action, the smaller, and then the extra large still on the red. So that scares me a little bit that there could be some turnaround there. Throwing this up in the chat there, the link there. So if you guys want to check it out and get some free stocks, go ahead and do so. Wheat is one way to kind of play that spike today, but that got spiked right back down. That's why I don't play that wheat trade. That's why I don't play Boyle anymore, guys.
The Widowmaker.
Boyle's going higher right now, but I ain't going to play it.
By the way, was just looking down my hallway because my cat went rampaging down the hallway. Turns out that those little limited distance practice golf balls that I bought for Prime Day do serve as excellent cat toys. I pulled one out of the bag and he is chasing it up and down the hall right now. It's actually freaking hilarious.
There you go. You just hit the ball and let him make him go after it.
Well, all I've been doing so far is throwing it. Today, I'm actually going to go down and get my 60-degree wedge and actually practice chipping in my place and see how much fun that generates for him.
There you go. Sounds
Get it,
like
buddy.
fun.
You can't knock it down the hall. Good boy. This is cat, man.
Yeah, they just smack it.
Else.
They just smack it and chase it.
Yep, it's great.
Better than the mouse.
I don't want to see mice in my place, that's for sure.
I was going to say, Pepsi, we talked about this on Friday, and we've been hitting this hard that Morgan Stanley downgrades saying 2 equal weight from overweight, basically saying they see limited upside left. So who do you transition to? Keurig Dr. Pepper? I don't know.
All right, guys. The Qs are battling right now. They're trying to make that up move. We'll see if it actually can make that up move. It could be followed by a wicked down move here. So just be careful out there, team. We don't know which way the stocks are going today. I don't know. If you guys know, please let me know. Seems like there's a battle today. NVIDIA is doing that attempted fake to the upside here. We'll see if it actually breaks to the upside. 460 hold on a 5-minute close might get you that. Q's pushing through the 380.50 spot. That could bring us higher. Apple's one of the best looking charts now, above that 193 and holding well. Look at that Apple chart today. Pretty. Look to see if it goes higher now. Google trying to reverse there. It's a battle today out there, team. Just be careful.
Palantir having a really good day today, too. I didn't even take a look at this. Where are my Palantir traders at? We actually took out Friday's high and Thursday's intraday high. Big move here in Palantir. Nice volume as well. There's a lot of Palantir lovers out there.
Mm-hmm.
GP, good call, Wiz. GP looks like this might be a little stronger through 5 this time. Let's see on GP.
All right, let's see if I can get. Let's look for MRO.
Watch semiconductor names. Well, all right, we have two breaking news items. I'm going to hit semiconductors first. Reuters is citing a statement from the U.S.-based Semiconductor Industry Association. They're calling on the Biden administration to, quote, refrain from further restrictions on U.S. chip sales to China. That will be interesting. And now we have more breaking news from CNBC. Elizabeth Warren is urging the SEC to investigate Tesla over Twitter ties in corporate governance. Elizabeth Warren is urging the SEC to investigate Tesla and its board of directors over possible conflicts of interest, misappropriation of corporate assets, and other negative impacts to Tesla shareholders related to CEO Musk's Twitter takeover. A 9-page letter obtained by CNBC was sent to SEC Chair Gary Gensler on Monday, so today. In that note, she wrote that Tesla board's apparent lack of independence from Musk, combined with inaction and incomplete disclosures, raised questions about possible violations of securities laws and exchange rules, which falls under SEC's jurisdiction.
All right, trying to get here an MRO for the Moo account here. So trying to get a little bit of a Moo trade here. And of course, this is oil to the upside. That's what I'm looking for. So trying to get a swing trade potential here on MRO. So looking for a stock to get there. And boom, I got it there, guys. I got MRO there at 24. So I want to hold this off for kind of like 2380s, give this a chance to get to the upside. We'll look to see if it starts to make that move. And of course, you guys know where this is from. This is from the Moo account, of course. Small account challenge. Can I get to 600? The battle has been on for a little while now. Now I'm definitely going to try to keep pushing and get me some of that Moo money, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
That makes me laugh every time.
Got to have a good time out there. All right, guys, will we get the up move in the Qs? The Qs went up and quickly rejected, so just be careful there, team. I am looking at potentially maybe even going short AMD here because it just looks like a nice little setup here. But I'm watching the Qs here, watching the Qs to see if we're going to go to the upside. Need to see him break the VWAP first to see if I'm going to go short.
Alexa asking Ryan, did you see Rory yesterday? Pure killer. Indeed, he is a pure killer. He is so much fun to watch. I actually didn't see it live because I was doing some golfing of my own, but I did see the highlights. The 17 and 18, the birdie to finish it out there on 17 and 18, that's incredible.
All right, we'll see what happens on the day here. Definitely getting to the point where I don't want to see Chevron kind of really breaking that 153 area. So that's going to be kind of the stop out there. See what happens if that can start going higher. Also looking for oil to start pushing to the upside here.
Still watching GP. It's trying to pull back to the VWAP here. There it goes. VWAP pull.
Now starting to get a little lift there in Chevron. That's looking good there. I'm also going to look for AMD to the downside now. Just grabbed a little bit there on AMD, willing to add on this. Just wanted to come up a little bit into the 20s and 40s, and then maybe I can add a little bit there, but I do see a little bit of head and shoulders pattern. Little starter there. It's starting to slow up. Just looking for that fake out to the upside here. The Q's coming down really fast there. We'll look to see if we get some more downside. So you see that head and shoulders pattern here. You can clearly see it right there, right? So this is the left shoulder, top, right shoulder. So I'm looking for the breakdown through the neckline. That's going to be this breakdown through 114. Now that I start seeing it head to there, I'm going to hit one more add before the 114 break. So now I have 100 shares at 114.16. If it breaks 114, I can add for the downside action towards 113.50s here. Chevron giving me already a nice little upside move. So I want to go ahead and try to get a little bit more push into the 40s and take some profits. So setting up the profits there on Chevron. If it can push there towards 153.50s, wouldn't mind taking a little bit of profit and seeing that go higher. MRO is the trade for the Moo account. We'll see if that can continue to push. Let's go back to AMD. Now we got 114.13s. Will it go down through the 114? There's 114.09s. I can do like a stop limit if I wanted to kind of get it through the 114s here, but I'm just going to watch it and try to nail onto it here. 114.09s. Let's see if this really starts to cut here and gets right back to like right down there towards 113.75. Qs is what you got to watch for. A quick bounce here off the VWAP. Will it bounce right back towards 138.50s or take down to 39.50s there? 379.50 there. We'll see if it comes right back down. All right, putting it back down up the Moo charts there, and we'll see if MRO goes higher here. Find out, guys. Went back to the AMD. It just tapped 114 here. All right, just added a little bit more in AMD. Of course, I'm short on AMD. So now I have 150 at 114.11s. Rejections I'm looking for is 114.18s now. All right, Q's bouncing a little bit here. We'll see if it comes right back to the downside here. Another one that I like there was the NVIDIA attempt to 460 and rejection there. That doesn't actually look that bad now. We really start seeing some downside action. You could be playing maybe the SQQQs here if you feel that you're going to get downside move also. If not, you could also play kind of the opposite move, right? The TQQQs if you're thinking that we're going to get this upside potential rip. We'll see what happens here. I like birds. I like turtles. Pan W mentioned in the chat there. It's not a bad looking stock at all. Stock's ripping. All right, we'll see what other stocks make a move here. Will the NASDAQ kind of continue to the upside here? It's kind of holding up here. Looking also at the oil futures. They're starting to pull back, so that's not looking that great in the oil, but we'll see if we get that upside move or not. Let's go back to my MRO trade there, and let's go to the multi-trade screen here. All right, so I'll put Chevron here on the bottom left. Q's on the top left, top right. We can do, let's do NVIDIA. Let's do maybe Tesla on the bottom right here. Tesla. How's Tesla been doing today? Had a big up move, now has pulled back. Look to see if we get that continued downside action in Tesla. That's pretty weak there. Chevron giving me the lift to the 138. I just need a little bit more, and then I could take some profits here. Would love to take a little bit more profits in Chevron as it gets to 153.50s. AMD testing up there for me. Could try to squeeze me out. AMD here on the bottom right.
Hey guys,
Battle on right now.
What you got, man? I was able to obtain the full letter that she sent to SEC Chair Gary Gensler, and I'm trying to read it very quickly. It is 9 pages long, and basically in conclusion of what she is arguing, basically that just because Linda Yaccarino took over Twitter, that doesn't mean he's not stepping away. She says that he's still, and he's even said that he's still part of the core business. And so what she's basically asking the SEC to do is she says the concerns about Mr. Musk's actions as Tesla CEO since his purchase of Twitter and the board's failure to address or disclose potential risks related to them raise obvious questions about Tesla's compliance with the SEC rules and regulations. So she's therefore asking them to open an investigation into Tesla to ensure that the actions of Musk and the Tesla board have not violated securities laws, because she's basically claiming that there's a potential violation of the NASDAQ listing rules. She's also arguing that there's potential violations of the SEC disclosure requirements regarding the board independence, potential violations of the SEC rules regarding disclosure of related party transactions, different code of ethics. And so basically she's asking them to open an investigation. I'll continue, and if I have any other highlights, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I would say with that, consider the source. That's all a nothing burger to me.
All right, what I'll tell you guys is I just took some profits in Chevron, so looking good there. Just took like $60 there just to make sure I paid myself. Now, no matter what, I won't lose on this position, and I think that's the important part. From here on out, just kind of letting the position work. AMD came right back down, but didn't break the 114s. I need to see the Qs break the VWAP right now. If it doesn't break the VWAP, it's probably going to squeeze me back on the upside move here in the Qs. So you got to be careful there. We'll see what happens.
GP through 5 here.
AMD looking like it wants to come back and squeeze out here. Just be careful out there, team. Above 44s, and that's a squeeze to the upside.
GP, this kind of looks like it wants to go higher here. Been stalking this all day, but it's really been pulling back at that 5. Maybe now we finally go here.
All right, Chevron, first resistance I'm going to look for to come into play is around 153.77. Then I can make a move to 154 today. If I could get it to 154, that'd be close to a point on like 175 shares left. Let's see if I can get it there and get a big gain.
There
on
it goes
that.
on GP. So this was a decent trade. I opted not to take this one here, but this move through 5 here, this actually did give us a trade. Congratulations if you were patient on this one.
AMD hits me right there at 43s, and it comes right back down. I think I got stop hunted, but hey, not going to battle with that one today. Still green on from Chevron. Just got to go ahead and just battle with Chevron. You still could come right back down here. So that's one thing that I'd keep an eye out for.
Bath and Body Works still going 3.64% now, 36.7.
I still haven't figured this one out, Nick. If you have, let me know. But this one's just a nice big move here.
The only thing I can see is basically that Bed Bath and Body Works has underperformed its peers when compared to competitors, and so I guess this is all just trying to gain, because I think Best Buy's up, Victoria's Secrets is up. Maybe Sector Performance. That's what I can allude it to.
Yeah, I can't figure out exactly why that one's going. GP, this was a nice one, though. GP all the way up to 540 here, 537 your high print. My goodness, and GP. Wiss, you were on that from this morning. That was a good one.
Q staying strong here. See what happens. Apple's right back towards like kind of VWAP here. Look to see if it gets the up move. Google looking like it wants to come back. See what happens with that one. Definitely some indecision here between the up and down move, right? So just be careful out there, team. Chevron pulling back a little bit there, got towards 153.67.
Chipotle, they got a price target upgrade out over at Oppenheimer, 2,350 per share from 2,050, and says it's too attractive to ignore. Reiterates the outperform. I don't know. I guess we're going long Chipotle. What about you, Ryan? Have you ever been to a Chipotle?
If you're going long Chipotle,
Sorry, Nick's question. I thought he was joking. Of course, I've been to Chipotle. I absolutely love Chipotle. Chicken burrito, no beans, baby. Let's go.
I gotta admit, I've never have been to one.
You've never been to a Chipotle?
I don't even think there's one near me. There's one being built near me.
Nick,
My
don't
goodness.
worry. You got a friend in me.
Man, GP went here, guys. This was a great trade for any of you guys that took it right through 5. Great trade here on GP.
GP.
Hi, Cleo. I see you.
All right, Q's trying to make that up move here. We'll see if it does get that up move. It seems like there's a lot of indecision right now, a little bit into the index, but I want to see if the Q's just rip higher here. And if they do rip higher, just be careful on those tech shorts, right? You know how NVIDIA loves to make these down moves and all of a sudden wicked up moves. So just be careful out there, team. And one that I saw strong earlier today, remaining strong, Micron. Micron's pretty strong right now. I just can't buy that dip. I could do it on a swing trade.
Paul C is saying, Chipotle, enjoy paying $20 for a burrito. How on earth are you ordering your Chipotle? My burritos are $8.70. I guess if you're door dashing them or Uber Eatsing them, it's more expensive. I just pick them up from the store. They're $8.
What's your favorite? Maybe I'll have to try something.
Chicken burrito.
Oh, now I'm ready to DoorDash something.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
My man. He's hungry.
I tend not to eat breakfast, and so yeah.
Yeah, me too. But today I had a bagel, so maybe that's why I'm all happy, because bagels are fantastic.
An everything bagel? Oh yes.
Oh yes, an everything bagel with some cream cheese.
With Philadelphia cream cheese? That's also good.
I finished
Speaking
off
of which,
Philadelphia this morning. Tomorrow I start Tillamook.
I go to Panera Bread yesterday. No bagels, man. Not a single bagel. Come on, Panera.
What time were you there?
It was a little later, but still, I want a bagel no matter
thickens.
what. If the bagels run out, make more bagels, bro.
That's like the Dunkin' near me. I went there for French donuts at like 10 a.m. a few weeks ago. Sorry, we're out. Well, then make more.
Yeah, right?
Oh, you guys crack me up.
All right, I'm addicted. I'm going short AMD again. I'm addicted to you.
Go on American Idol. I think that gets you very long.
You know it, bro. You know it, right?
Are we going to start betting on Mitch's singing now? Long Mitch's singing?
I would be short it if we bet that.
Dude, I just get an AI voice or something. Now in the future, bro, you're not even going to need to be able to sing good. You'll just use AI vocal cords.
I don't know about that.
You don't think that's going to happen?
Adiba, good question here. Ryan, where would you have entered? So if I was paying closer attention to this, the 5 break, Adiba, because you could see what happened here. After this first initial move, which it was not on my radar, as we came back up here, we started butting up to this 5. I know we broke it by a couple of cents a few times, but in each case, we pulled back to the VWAP. In fact, looking at this chart, you could have added at the VWAP on a pullback, and then you're basically just waiting for this break to the upside. We ended up getting that break of the upside just like WIS did. I would have taken gains on this break up. Really anywhere in here would have been okay for playing a type of scalp trade. If I was looking for downside here, my stop would have been a nice clean break through the VWAP, maybe to this consolidation area. Let's call it 475. Good question though on the trade.
All right. Just seems like we are in a little bit of a shake because it's just going up and down right now, guys. So just be careful out there, guys. I'm trying to position myself just accordingly and just trying to be slow to positions and only playing really 2 positions right now.
I'm still in my SQQQ, so hopefully we do break down and that goes here today.
I can't blame you, man. At least it's definitely slowed down, the trend at least. I can tell you that much. But doesn't mean we've broken, right? I mean, that's the hard part. Like on Chevron right now, should I just run the profits? That's the hard stock that I'm looking at right now to see if I just run to the gas. But I think it could keep going. So got to hold according to the chart. AMD trying to squeeze some people out right quick. See if it does squeeze or not.
Hey, at least we don't have any Fed speakers this week, given the blackout period.
Right? You go on their vacation this week.
What are you expecting? 25, 25 and done? 25 and done? 25,
Two more 25s would be what I'm expecting. Like we talked about the last time, I'd like to see him just go rip the Band-Aid off and go, 50 on the first one, see what breaks.
Between 2 25s and a 50. That's what
well, I just mean do the 50 early, so if you need another one, and then we'd have more of an actual hike. I just mean go faster, effectively. Maybe not.
You expect to cut this year?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Maybe next year, Q1.
So Nick, as someone that's looking to move to a different state, would love to be able to get a new mortgage. I'm unwilling to trade my 2.625 for a 7. So as far as what I'm hoping for, yeah, I'd love to see interest rates get cut in 2024. I'm not even sure we'll see that.
I was gonna say, Mitchell, are we doing a big stream or anything for Fed Day? I'd be down to do one.
That's the hard part, though. The thing is that I go live right after the Fed Day.
That's right. You go live right after.
So it's like, man, I'll have to be live all day long, but I'll try to do my best, Nick. You know me. I don't mind being live.
I can always join you after for the highlights.
Yeah, that's what I normally do. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, I don't have the report before it comes out. So I need to watch it too. I need to learn it. I need to read it. I like to read them really. Like a lot of times, people like just go to the highlights on the medias, but I like to actually try to read them really quickly. Of course, I'm like doing a little skim read, but actually trying to go through the report versus just like, what Bloomberg highlighted for me. All right, out of that AMD spiked real quick there, guys. So the Qs could get a quick spike here to the upside. I feel like that could happen. There you guys are already seeing it, the 380.50s. We'll look to see if that pushes to the upside here. And will Google and Apple recover and get them back to the upside? Something to keep an eye out for. AMD push strong.
I was going to say, Ryan, your favorite stock now is moving lower, 2.5%. It's still positive, but still moving lower.
What's my favorite stock?
Bed Bath and Body Works. Bath and Body Works.
I'm just trying to figure out the move here today. That's all.
You getting them candles, man?
Hey,
I just ordered citronella candles from Amazon.
Not the same as scented candles, but good job keeping the mosquitoes away. I'm a big fan of scented candles, but I'll be honest, Mitch, and no one's going to be shocked by what I'm about to tell you. I get most of my scented candles from Costco.
Oh.
The big 7 wickers.
There's Chevron going higher. There you go. That's going to do me right.
Maybe I could have a stopover at Ryan's house. Big party there.
Party at Ryan's.
Party at Ryan's. We're doing the show from Ryan's house.
Oh, man. I'm not even going to make the joke. GP, guys, this was a good one. I rate my own trading today. I rate a C-, given the fact that I called this one prior to moving and missed it. Wiss was on this one, too. Shout out to Wiss.
Man, who hit the pause button on BBIO? All right, starting to get into the green there in MRO, now up there to 24.10s. And of course, I'm talking about the Moo account here. So it looks like we got ourselves a little swing trade on, a little oil to the upside move. Why not? Chevron up there to 153.60s. Can this go through the 153.70s and 80s and really start pushing towards 154? That's what I would love to see on Chevron. Of course, I'm in from 153.17. So that would be a monster move on Chevron. We'll see if we can get that uplift move. Chevron now towards 153.60s. Let's see it keep going. Daily chart would look good if it could just start making its way back here towards 154, 155, 156. I'm looking for a bigger move. We'll see if we get it.
All right, Mitch, I'm going to get rolling here and get on with my day. We are past
11
yeah.
Here. I'm surprised. We no interviews? No, I'm just playing. We're all set, guys. Mitch's imposter keeps pitching beyond me. Oh hell no! Now you really know it's starting to upset me. Now you're really starting to upset me. Now
I wasn't pissed before, but now I'm pissed.
Now you're mentioning fake meat out there. Come on, man! I was cooking up a nice skirt steak this weekend, so I don't know about that beyond meat, but thanks, Crow. Thanks for looking out for me. I actually hit him up on Instagram. I tried to cancel him. And Instagram was just like, you know what? We have too much to worry about right now with Threads, so we're not gonna delete your imposter. He has more following than you, so we believe him. We don't believe you.
You're the fake one. Get wrecked, you. All
Pretty
right,
much.
Mitch. I'm out today, boys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Stay green. Stay safe.
Yeah,
All right. Have a good one, Nick. We'll also have you back, like always. You guys can tune in for Nick and give him a nice follow. You guys see his tag right there, News by Nick. And if you guys ever need some coverage or looking for something, you guys see Nick. He'll even email if he needs to. My man, getting us some answers today. Appreciate you like always, Nick. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Mitch. Always a pleasure.
Take care. All right, that's going to do it for us on live trading. You guys smash the like button. Like always, check out Moo. I'm going to keep going with this trade. We'll see what happens in the Moo account, how the MRO oil, can that keep climbing higher? We'll see if that can keep pushing. And like always, guys, you guys smash the like button out there. If you guys enjoyed today's stream, and check out Moo. We'll see you guys a little bit later today. Start swing trade is actually going to be switching over more like 3:30 start to 4 from now on as I go ahead and adjust it. I do want to go ahead and kind of bring some interviews back, kind of switch up the show. But I'll see you guys over 3:30 p.m. Eastern later today on Start Swing Trade. Hit the like button. And like always, guys, we'll be right here for you guys battling together. And keep pushing, team. We never know where we're going to get to. The only thing we can do is keep trying to get to that next level. Like always, I'll see you next time right here. You guys don't have to go anywhere to find us. And like always, hit the like button on your way out.